So we're at the penultimate part of the show, Andesara's fragrance debate. So we've got some questions for our panelists, and we're going to talk through them. So guys, first question. It's a hot topic in fragrance: layering. Layer or not to layer? That is the question. Jamie, what's your thoughts?
So this is really interesting because very recently I did a video where and it was only about 5 weeks ago, where I did a layering because somebody told me to do it. Prior to that, I probably had layered 2 or 3 times in my whole journey with fragrance. I was always kind of against it, and the reason I was I think as fragrance people that collect fragrances, love fragrances, I think because we kind of familiarise ourselves with a lot of scent, we don't get bored, but we kind of become a little bit more confident to experiment. Joe Public, people that don't buy fragrance, maybe 1 bottle a year, they would never think of layering. I think that's something that we have thought up as a community. We just kind of want to layer. And I personally don't, it's not that I don't agree with it. Do what you want. It's your fragrance. You can layer. But I kind of do feel like it is a bit of an insult to the perfumer, because I feel like you're literally
not good enough.
Yeah, it's like you're spraying something on and going, well, it's okay, but this will make it better. But then the perfumer could have spent years creating that fragrance. So I kind of like a fragrance to be its own standalone star of the show, more so than layered. But sometimes, if it needs to happen, it'll happen. For instance, if I had like a basic vanilla fragrance and I wanted to zhuzh it up a little bit, I could put something else over the top, but not that often.
Zaffa, what's your thought?
So I'm going to have to disagree with you, unfortunately. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
But I completely hear your point about the whole saying that fragrances, don't, you're sort of making an insult towards the perfumer. I personally don't see it that way, because as perfume collectors, there are some fragrances out there that just don't project the way you want it to, the way you envision yourself and feel about it as well. So in my personal experience, I feel like with certain fragrances, I do have to layer it because I just feel like it's just missing something. Sometimes you do blind buy things. Come on, as fragrance lovers, we do blind buy, yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not the way you envisioned it. So what really helps is just so I'm making use of these fragrances that I'm layering it, and it's okay to layer, but don't get me wrong, I have my moments where I'm just wearing one fragrance and it's beautiful, but I think it's also a mood thing as well,
Patience?
I would say, in terms of my palette, in terms of fragrance, I think it's evolved over the years. I used to be someone that was just strictly heavy oud, fragrances that just smell really, really strong. And as I've gotten into kind of like content creating, perfume reviewing, I'm really appreciating other types of smells. I think smells for me that have been quite floral, I've always stayed away from, and I've always told everyone that I don't wear specifically women's fragrances or men's fragrances. I kind of like unisex fragrances. But as I'm smelling a floral, some people might think, okay, this fragrance smells a bit like, toilet freshener. But then I'm like, if you pair it with this fragrance, you can tone it down, it sits well, it's wearable. So sometimes giving people the option of like for example, when you're trying on an outfit, you're like, okay, cool, it's just a grey top and jeans. But if you put a leather jacket on it, you've transformed the look entirely. So it's almost like how you pair it, you can say it pairs well and it can really bring it out, for example.
Yeah.
I understand it, and I understand both points, but for me, you've paid your money, do what you want with it.
Yeah, do what you want.
And if the perfumer's annoyed by it, well, offer me a refund and you can have it back then.
I mean, but then you have seen a shift, and there is a shift at the moment where there is certain perfume sort of houses that are coming out with a collection that is meant for layering. So it is meant for that fragrance to be laid with that fragrance from the same collection. And I've noticed that's becoming a little bit more of a trend. I mean, I'm not against it by all means, but I very rarely do it as a fragrance person. It's not something I do all that often. I just like to wear what I like to wear.
That's fair
It
enough.
confuses
Yeah.
people as well,
Yeah.
because I get stopped in the street. Like, you know, you get stopped in the street, oh, what are you wearing? And you're like, oh my God, where do I even start? You've layered like 15
Yeah,
fragrances.
this,
You smell
yeah.
like an atomic bomb.
But no,
And it's like,
if I'm going to work and I'm not really planning on seeing many people, and I've got my collection in front of me, I'll be like, well, I want to see what this smells like later on. So I'll have 2 different arms, and then I'll spray on my legs, and I'll smell. And then when someone does say to you, "What are you wearing?" You're like, "Oh God, I don't know."
Yeah.
I can't
No-
even tell
no
you.
clue.
Yeah.
Perfume
picked up what I
bingo.
could find.
Yeah.
Right, next question. Scent projection or longevity? Patience, we're going to start with you. What's more important?
I think for me, it started off with projection. If I smell a fragrance, I'm like, in the first 1 to 2 seconds, I'm like, this needs to project. But for me, I've now grown accustomed to waiting for a fragrance to evolve. So for me, I'm going to say longevity.
Safa?
I'm going to have to agree with you. I think longevity is really important. I think someone like me who doesn't really touch up on fragrances, I need a fragrance that I can rely on that will last me throughout the whole day without even topping up. So yeah, longevity.
And again, I would say longevity. I've always kind of spoke about that within my own content, where I have said, like, I need a fragrance, because I'm not one of these people that touches up fragrance throughout the day. I don't constantly. I wouldn't want to carry on having to spray a fragrance like 2-3 times during the day just to be able to have it perform. So I like to be able to put a fragrance on,
Let it go to work.
and that's me done for the day. And maybe I'll come home, have a shower and put a different fragrance on, but after work. But for me, it's longevity.
So I'm going to say, don't you think it's slightly addictive when the projection's good and you walk into a room and people go,
Yeah.
what are you wearing? And you're like, well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Take a seat and I'll take you through the journey. But that's quite addictive, that. And I think when you wear something and you walk into a room and you're like, and then they don't say anything, you're like, okay, I'll leave it there. So I think they're both important. And I do think that the projection has got its time and a place.
But what about, I'm going to play devil's advocate
Okay.
here, but what about that one person when you've gone through the whole day, no compliments, but then it's that one person at 9 o'clock at the train station says, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Then you're like, it was all worth it then.
Yeah.
It just makes it worth
Do you
it.
think like, why hasn't no one said it all day?
No
Did
one
they not
said
like
it all
me?
day. Like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, because you've let the fragrance sit throughout
Yeah.
the whole day, and then you've got that one compliment at the end. So for me, I think longevity, I'm definitely riding with that one.
Okay. Right. What makes a niche fragrance brand stand out in today's market? We're going to start with Zafar.
I think something that is unique. I think there's a lot of fragrances that are coming out with similar things, you know, and it's getting a little bit boring, if I'm being honest. I mean, yes, it's great to have, you know, dupes of certain fragrances, but it's like we do need something different as well. I think that's one of the beauty of being a fragrance content creator, because you get to discover all of these new fragrances, including these new niche fragrances, you know, and it's just really exciting. So I think something unique.
Jamie?
So I would very much agree with that. I do feel that there is a cut-off point with that, though, because I feel like, how far do you go? Because I have seen some very out there, some niche brands that are coming through maybe from other countries that have, like, some of the bottle designs, some of the ingredients that they're using in the fragrances. I mean, I've seen some very out there. I mean, where is the cut-off point? Because we want different, but how different do we actually, as a consumer, want to be pushed?
All the way. I want to be pushed off the edge of a
You
cliff.
see, you get people like David who's saying all the way, but for me, like, if I saw a fragrance and it's got, like, I've seen notes of blood, I've seen notes of, like, soil, dirt, and I'm thinking, are we going a bit too far with it now? Like, I think niche has its own sort of like sector, I think, and then you have ultra niche, which is kind of where I'm sort of touching on that. But I do feel like some of the niche brands, and even some of the most popular niche brands now, are trying to, I do feel like they're trying to, but a lot of the time I do feel like they're kind of falling flat on the face, because there's been a few releases in the last 12 to 18 months from niche brands that have tried to be a bit different, and nobody has took any notice, because are the consumers just wanting? We might moan about it because we're content creators, we collect fragrance, but the consumer might have never smelled anything like that, but we smelled 10 versions of that same DNA.
Yeah.
It is very different for us because we smell so much, but the main consumer that's going into a department store or going online and researching niche fragrances, they'll be excited by it because they may never have smelled anything like that. So it is really interesting.
Yeah.
Patience?
I'm going to take it on the business side. As a commercial perspective, niche has just been, the word niche has just been thrown around for sales, really. If you slap a niche, oh, this is a niche fragrance, all of a sudden people are thinking, oh, this is ultra luxury. But I think for me, niche is the story behind the fragrance. And going to places like, you know, when I went to Essence and you're discovering really tiny brands, like the experience for me was mental, but going to like the big brand stands, it was just, everyone was just flocking to what they know.
Yes.
I was going to the tiny houses. They're like, oh, we're a niche brand from Turkey, we're a niche brand from Poland. And you smell the fragrances like, I've actually never smelled anything like this before. So that's the feeling that I like to have when I smell fragrances. And then the story, then it just puts, it adds together for me.
By the way, this is my face of like not trying to hate you because I wanted to go to Essence and I didn't get a chance.
Sorry.
So, but my take on it is, like, for me, like when we went to the niche show and you get to meet the brands, Andesara's an absolute perfect example. You get to meet them and it's the family, you know, and they've got a family unit. And when you meet them, it changes the smell because you're like, you know, Athena.
You try to look at them and think, oh, what could be your fragrance?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I was doing.
That's-
Which one? Yeah.
Well, during my content, when I filmed with Andesara, I was guessing which one was going to be inspired by the mum, and it was Athena. So, and I just, it made me fall in love with that fragrance. So I think what's important is the story for niche. I don't think, I think it's so easy, and you see these meme clips where people will have a picture of a lemon and they'll put a cap on it saying new niche fragrance or a rock. So I think there's a certain line where you can go to it, but I think the story behind the brand's important as well. And I think we're lucky enough to meet these perfumers and these perfume houses in the niche realm, and you get to see behind the curtain. And I just wish that other people, and that's why we made this content, isn't it? To tell these stories for these brands. So
I do feel you touched on something there though with the story, because I am very much that person that loves a story. I do not want to be, for instance, I do not want to be going to a niche brand and saying, oh, so these all smell amazing, but what's the story behind the fragrances? And they just go, don't know, I just made them. I just like the smell. Like to me, it's an instant, I'm not interested at that point for me, because I need to be invested into not just the fragrances,
passion,
but them as perfumers, them as a unit.
So you can resonate with them as well, isn't it? You resonate
and
with the
I think that's
fragrances.
very, very, very crucial in not just us as content creators and us as fragrance enthusiasts, but I think the public as well. Like, they will never know who the owners are because they're not interested. They just want a nice smelling fragrance, but they may well go home and research. They might think, oh, I'm really interested why the bottle looks like this, and do a bit of research. And it's nice that they can go on and have a look and see what it's all about and how it all started. Some brands don't do that. Some brands don't do that. They just put the fragrances out and then that's it.
So we're running out of time, and I'm thinking I could sit here for hours talking. But the next question is, what do you think the fragrance community needs more of? So just have a little think. I tell you what I think it needs more of. I think the fragrance community needs more positivity. It needs a bit more love and a little bit more understanding. That, like, when I review a bottle, if I don't like it, I won't review it. So all my reviews are fairly positive, because I understand there's a story behind it. They've put effort into it, and I think it's very easy for clicks to be negative. So I think, from my point of view, that's my 2 pence worth. A bit more love in the community.
No, I agree.
Patience?
I'd say, in terms of people who ask me, how do you become a content creator? I think the main thing is that you need, I guess, maybe masterclasses or places where people can go like, look, I've got these fragrances. I don't know what to do. I'm not really good on camera. How can I learn tips on how to become a content creator? Because funny enough, the most crazy story, I went to go take my bike to have the wheels pumped and everything. And the guy was like, oh, like, you smell really nice. And what fragrance? I told him, he's like, oh, I think I've got that in my collection. He told me he has 1,000 fragrances.
Wow.
And he works in a bike shop. And I was thinking, why are you not doing content? He was like, I'm just a collector. So I feel like, I mean, and also he said that where would I start? So we need kind of that open inclusiveness, because there is this kind of thing where like, okay, you don't work with PR agencies and stuff like that because I don't have this many followers, and people who are starting up, they're thinking I can't really make it. So the openness, I think it needs.
Interesting. Safa?
I think from my point of view, it actually comes from my personal experience. I think there needs to be more education that fragrance is subjective, and also everyone projects fragrance differently. I think obviously as a woman, I feel like there are certain periods within my cycle where my fragrance will be different. So for example, during my luteal phase, my fragrance will smell completely different. The longevity of it will not be as long. Whereas my ovulation stage, I realise my fragrances actually last a little bit longer. So I do feel like it's not really spoken about, where hormones have a real impact on the way your fragrance projects. And that's something I feel like it's not researched enough, and I feel like people do not speak up about it, because that is something I do want to get into and speak more about on my page.
And also what type of fragrances and scents can affect your hormones as well.
100%. And when I fell pregnant 3 years ago, I was completely put up on my fragrance, and that's because of my hormonal change. You know, there was a point I stopped collecting fragrances because it was just like I could not handle it. My skin couldn't handle it. But as I started to sort of heal and go back into it, I realised, okay, yeah, hormones do play a massive part in the way fragrances project on you and the way you smell it as well. I know there were fragrances that I absolutely hated when I was pregnant, but I love now. But that's all down to my senses and my hormones. And I'm very sure there's something similar for men as well.
Yeah.
You know, with testosterone and...
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I think there needs to be more education about hormones and fragrance projection.
And I think you should spearhead that. I should do a video series.
Yeah.
And
I got something there. Got something there, guys.
Jamie, quickly.
So very quickly, I will say, I think... So it's a tough one for me. I'm going to be really, really raw and be really honest. I have not had the easiest time as a content creator. I hear the word community bandied around a lot, and I'll be very truthful. I've never really found myself to be part of a community, if that makes sense.
Can I just say though, I think that we found a little community.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely want to keep our little band going.
Yeah, I think that's a me thing as well, because I do wear my heart on my sleeve. I am very easily sort of like, I do get emotional quite easily, but like I just wish there was a bit more. In any walk of life, you're going to have groups of people that gravitate towards people more, but I just wish there was a bit more inclusive. I can't say the word.
Inclusivity.
Yeah, that word. I just feel like sometimes there's, and I know it kind of goes hand in hand with, I get told a lot, you're very real. Like, and I always say, what do you mean by that? You're very real. And they're like, well, what you see on camera is what you get in person. And then it made me think, a lot of people probably do put on a bit of a performance on camera to sort of have a alter ego. But I would rather be known as the person that is Jay on camera and Jay off camera, that everybody knows, and I'm the same person.
Alter ego, I haven't got one of them. I am David Von Fragrance. Right, dead quickly, we're running out of time. Which ingredient do you think is the hardest to execute well in fragrance? Ooh. Quick fire, just shout it out.
Ambroxan.
Okay.
Oh my God, come back to me.
I'm going to say cherry.
Really? Wow, I love a cherry fragrance. Oh, this is really hard.
Very difficult question.
It is a very difficult question. I'm going to say oud because I feel like I've smelt oud. Oud for me, there's two. I need oud, but different. They all smell too similar for me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was really interesting. So I was pretty nervous before doing this, and I tell you what, I could have talked for hours. I think it's so interesting, and it's new content creators that I haven't really been involved with, and I've kind of just like fell in love with everyone in here. It's fantastic, and I love doing it. Yeah, I want to do it again. Have me back.
I mean, I want to say well done, Andesara, for doing this. I think more brands should do a bit of a deep dive into their fragrances, get random people who've never met each other to really just deep dive, chat about a fragrance, because it will, one, help the brand, it will help content creators understand more about the brand and understand like the whole, I call it kind of like the fragrance diagram of kind of consumers, content creators, distributors, sellers, the whole experience. So yeah, definitely more brands should do this.
Yeah, 100%. When I first came here, I was quite nervous about how the day was going to go. But I think everyone here is just so friendly, so kind, and we're literally like a little family.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think we've all gotten really, really comfortable with each other. But yeah, I'm really, really happy away. Today's gone.
Yeah, and I will second that. I think today's gone really well. And I'm very honest about this because a lot of people said to me, when I said I was coming here today, a lot of people said to me, you're going to an event or you're going to do something, because I am very particular. I don't just go to the opening of an envelope. I'm very, very picky of where I want to go, who I want to dedicate not only my time to, but their time as well. And today, there was no question when I got asked to do this. It was a solid yes straight away, because I knew how much I loved the brand, how much I loved the three siblings. And for me, it was just, today has just made it even more apparent to me that I need every single one of them in my collection.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, 100%.
100%. What will happen now as well, when this gets released, Andesara are going to get inundated with content creators. Can we be on the next episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the originals. This is the original
We're the
line.
OGs.
The
We're the
original.
OGs.
Yeah.
OGs, yeah.
And I think a lot of other brands might take inspiration from
Yeah,
this.
no, I definitely think.
Yeah.
Andesara was here first.
Yeah, they did it first.
You heard it
Yeah,
here first.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a name that definitely rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Andesara. It's a lovely brand.
It's great to see different content. It's great to see a brand that have actually thought outside the box and not just done a copy and paste of what other brands tend to do and just do the same thing. Because I've never seen anything like this. It looks great.
I've seen a couple of
Yeah.
huge
I've seen
content creators.
podcasts.
like round
Podcasts.
tables.
I've seen
and stuff.
podcasts and stuff.
or kind of fake podcasts.
Yeah.
Nothing fake about today. This is.
Can I
This
just
is
say
all
also our
genuine,
host, you were
Yeah, you were
brilliant.
amazing.
You were so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I wasn't I? I'm joking. Thank you so much. I was quite nervous.
Thank you.
But I just want to echo what Patience said, and thanks to Andesara and I said Andrew's idea, all this. So well done. And can't wait to see this when it comes out.
Amazing.
Thanks for
Next
watching,
week.
and until next time, from myself, David Von Fragrance,
City Bloom Perfume.
City Bloom Perfume.
Hey, Zafar.
The Niche Fox.
See you later, guys. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.